Okay, so here we go with page 12, and the Ethiopian king has asked his fish-eating visitors what the Persians eat and how long they live. They've told him quite proudly that the Persians, that they, as part of the Persian Empire, eat bread. They eat wheat products, and they've explained all about the growing and the making of bread from grains. They've also suggested that 80 years of life and then I think we've got to understand the verb to be. The longest length of life. To lie ahead, to be available for a man. A Persian man, of course. Pleroma is fulfillment, a fullness. So 80 years of life to be the longest lifespan that's available for a man. To this, the Ethiopian said, Uden thaumastein. Well, Uden is nothing. Thaumastein is to be amazed. Uden very often means not at all. But something to bear in mind here. Indirect statement. In Latin, Caesar said that he was hungry. That's got to become Caesar said himself to be hungry. In Greek, if the person speaking, the Ethiopian king, refers to himself, he said that he, then the say doesn't need to exist. It's just understood. So that's why there's no heauton, for example, meaning himself. So back to the translation then, understanding that. Very simply, the Ethiopian said that he was not surprised if situmai is I eat, I subsist on. This is the present participle. If eating such kopron, well, kopron is most unpleasant a word. It's a vulgar word, and we could politely translate it by dung, filth, dirt, feces, and worse. If eating such filth, they should live just a few years. Once again, the king surprises them with his vulgarity, with his dismissive attitude to the assertion that Persians can live 80 years, which would surely to anybody be a fine length of time to live. But he is rude and dismissive. And he carries on, because he says, and there's the confirmation of that, he said, nor did he say, or for nor did he say, andunastai, would they be able? Zer, by the way, is an infinitive, a strange infinitive, but it is an infinitive. To live so many years. So the word eter from above, I think, has to be supplied as a neuter plural. For he said that they would not be able, and I've misled you here because the autus is the they. He said they would not be able to live so many years if, the opposite of if you like, is a mer. The opposite of si in Latin is nisi. Mer is a variant of u. It's a negative. If they did not, pharaoh is to bear. Ignore what is said at the bottom here. I don't like it at all. Notice it suggests refer to or attribute to. There's no need for that. Pharaoh is to bear or endure. If they did not endure this time with the drink, phrasto, from which we get the English word phrase, referring to, pointing to, the wine. We know he likes the wine. And we all like references to drink and wine in the West. It cheers us up. And so here, he says that, well, 80 years would be a stretch if you just had to eat that rubbish. If you couldn't drink to forget that your life was so poor. For he said, there's the for. For he said that tutoi, in this thing, in this matter, in this respect, he said that they themselves, the Ethiopians, were worsted, were defeated, were beaten by the Persians. Tutoi. For he said that with this foodstuff, with this wine, they were, in this respect, tutoi, second best to the Persians. They didn't have wine. That's the only thing, after he sampled it, that he said that they would crave. Okay, you can just about see romain. This is the verb to answer. Erotao, I ask. And this is the verb to answer. Or to ask in return. With the fish eaters asking in turn. The king asking in their turn, the king. And we're going to go on. to learn that they're going to ask about the lifespan of these Ethiopians. It hasn't been mentioned yet. We know the Persians claim to have lived 80 years, but if they're going to dismiss 80 years, what on earth is the lifespan of an Ethiopian going to be? So this genitive absolute takes us into page 13.